When I was in Anzio, I was wounded in the left groin. That's when I got shrapnel. And I got this hand blowed about the thumb and finger.
Wow.
And
what happened for your injury?
I had my gun out like this and a bullet hit it. A lot of times I had a buddy who was an Indian. And I saw him run up, jerk the turret up on the tank and drop a grenade in it and shut it back down.
Whoa.
And that stopped the tank. He was an Indian. His name was Pete Jimenez.
Was this the same that you had seen open the tank and put the...
Yeah, I've seen him do that, yeah.
Wow.
And he was deadly with a knife.
Yeah.
From here to the corner of the house, he could kill a man dead in one flop.
Wow.
He carried a knife behind his head in a little sheath. He gave it that, and he was a good hitter, and he was real good. We was going up this horizon. We was going to attack the German from the rear that was in the Battle of the Bulge. And there was a sniper in the stone building. I do remember that. And they sent me and one of the other boys after him. And I remember going in the bottom of that building, and that was all I ever remembered. They blew it down. And I never come to, I think it was about, well, it wasn't, I can't say for sure how many days it was, but when I came to, I was in the 17th General Hospital in London.
Wow. In
London, England. And I can't tell you to this day how I got there. The Germans had what they call SS troops. Mm-hmm. They all wore black uniforms. And they was running this concentration camp.
Where was it, do you know?
It was in
Buchenwald?
Buchenwald. And we had these SS troops lined up here, shaking them down. They'd put a grenade under their arm, and when you got right to them, they'd turn it loose, because they didn't care what happened to them. They were der Führers. They call them the Führer's boys. Anyhow, this one, I walked up in front of him and he spit in my face. And before I knew what I was doing, I brought my Tommy gun up, and the butt of a Tommy gun, you know how they are, metal, caught him in the chin, knocked all his teeth out. And I had him down there going to get the rest of them, and my captain came up and said, "You got enough of them." I said, "You got him." Got me off of him. But you would go into this concentration camp, most of these ovens had ashes in them. Once in a while you'd open the door on one of them and there'd be a live person in there. There was just a skinny, this pitiful, looked like the bones was coming out of them. And the United States government saved a lot of them by feeding them with an eyedropper for a while, not letting them get too much, and brought them out of it. I know this one man, he was a Jew, and he wrote about a story, and it was on television years ago, about how they saved his life by feeding him with tube. If you'd give him all he wanted, he'd kill him.
Yeah, your stomach couldn't handle that.
Yeah, he couldn't handle it.
Wow.
And you'd find a few in those ovens that they hadn't fired off yet. There's gas ovens. Of course, all come out the top and they incidentally used those ashes for fertilizer. I'll tell you what, there is so much sadness in the Army around you that you just don't forget it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you knew better than to make very close friends. Because if you had close friends, you're going to lose them. Some of them.
And that's not something that ever goes away. You're never gonna...
That's right, it never leaves you.
Yeah.
And I was telling you about that nervous breakdown I had. I guess it was a nervous breakdown. She helped me get out of that, or helped me through it.
Yeah.
And I got a pension. I got a pension from the Army when I was discharged. 2 years after I was out, they called me to Indianapolis and told me, they said, well, there's a lot of people out here worse shape than you, and throwed my pension away. And here's some German shrapnel if you want to see it. Something right there.
Wow. It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, it doesn't. Now, I'll get to that too. Feel it?
Yeah. My word.
And when I was back home, I'm getting ahead of it. But when I was back home, and they give me an MRI up at Bloomington, the shrapnel on the back of my neck burnt. Oh, it just burnt and burnt, and this did too.
Yeah.
John's still working, trying to get me that Purple Heart.
That's what I understood. And this would be for a particular action, right?
Right. That was, well, when I was in the service, if you got wounded twice or 3 times, you got one Purple Heart with clusters on it. And I never did get one.
But we're wounded 3, if not 4, right?
Well, if it wasn't shot, of course, I've got shrapnel on the back of my neck from that house coming down and that bomb going off.
Yeah.
But I think they done me dirty there. I really do. I figure that I'll probably pass before I ever get a Purple Heart, due to the fact that actually our government that runs the Army, you know what I'm talking about, they're not as thorough as they ought to be. They don't pay attention to what I think they should do.
Well, they don't take your word for it. You know, they want to hear it from someone else. Well, most of the veterans of that day and age, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're no longer.
Yeah, there's not but, I expect, I don't know how many World War II veterans there is around here.
Yeah.
Not many.